Master Production Scheduling, or MPS as it's often referred to, is a manufacturing planning tool that is used to capture a number of variables from different elements of the organization. For example, customer demand, capacity, inventory levels and material flows, and then describe which parts the organization will manufacture and at what frequency. MPS is a fairly standard tool within manufacturing companies, and it's usually administered through an operations planning function and controlled by a team headed by a master production scheduler. What's important about an MPS plan is that it is built around the organization's capability and also its capacity against delivering against its customer requirement. Without an MPS schedule, the manufacturing team typically work from the customer sales orders which have been loaded onto the MRP system. These are usually coupled with any make-to-stock requirements. There are various problems with this method. Typically, the first one that we see is items loaded within lead time. The lead time is how long it takes to make a product. Without the right controls in place, demand can be loaded within lead time, straining the manufacturing and supply chain planning process. Another common issue is that capacity is often not adhered to, and demand gets loaded above capacity, which can result in customer schedule adherence problems. With an MPS, whilst the customer demand is used as a planning variable, the MPS is what drives the manufacturing team, and the customer demand is disconnected from the manufacturing process. Most customer demand signals will contain peaks of troughs of demand. This profile can result in planning problems and inefficiency for manufacturers. A significant benefit of MPS is that since it decouples the customer demand from what is manufactured, batch sizes can be tuned to optimize the production process. Where demand is particularly spiky, this can be of enormous assistance in producing a steady drumbeat of manufacture, which can then ripple through the supply chain. In our simple example, we have to produce in batch sizes of 5. We select a plan that helps smooth out the peaks and troughs. The MPS doesn't have to meet each week's exact demand. We use build-to-stock principles to help where demand outstrips manufacturing levels. A common complaint for many organizations is that demand is loaded within lead time, i.e., if a part takes 100 days to manufacture, it's no good taking a customer demand for a delivery in 50 days where there's no stock. You're struggling before you've even started the process. This can create panic amongst the staff, throw existing priorities into disarray. Whilst there are a variety of methods that can be used to stop this, MPS can be a very effective method, as it is the production schedule that drives the manufacturing, not the customer demand. This enables the organization to protect its lead time, but also assist planning in looking at when the future requirement is best supported by the manufacturing output. The MPS acts as a common business plan that everybody can use to understand the manufacturing plan. Used as a communication tool, this enables everybody to see what's happening within the business. Having a fixed schedule enables the supply chain team, in particular the procurement function, to communicate priorities and requirements effectively. One of the key problems many manufacturing organizations face, where they are led by changing customer requirements, is where the supply chain gets reprioritized depending on the problem of the week. It's no surprise that suppliers work best to regular, smooth demand. Where that demand is unstable, it can often lead to missed deliveries, let alone the detrimental effect relationships with suppliers that struggle to keep up with what's really required. Master production schedules are best reviewed as part of a formal business process, which includes the relevant stakeholders and often requires senior sign-off before it's either loaded into the MRP system or is passed to production for action. It's common that the production schedule is outputted from a formal sales and operation planning review. Typically, master production schedules do not allow planning in arrears, so where failures have happened and products has not been manufactured as planned, these items are replanned to a relevant point in the future. Another common attribute of master production schedule is that there is usually a fixed planning window whereby plans do not get changed. For example, the first 6 weeks of the plan may be termed fixed. This enables production to concentrate on what's ahead of them without worrying about reprioritizations. Additions may be added to this fixed point, but usually such amendments are tightly controlled. The MPS planning process provides rigor and control and stops queue jumping, has a clear review cycle, and requires cross-functional inputs to help decide the plan, which include the business constraints of capacity and material flow. Whilst, as with any business process, there are challenges associated with deploying a master production schedule, there are some enormous and tangible benefits. Manufacturing plants can get themselves into chaos by not administering the manufacturing demand signal appropriately, and this can have huge effects on the supply chain, driving reprioritizations, excess inventory, and causing untold grief to the relationships of key suppliers. Used correctly, MPS can right many of these problems, generating a stable and considered plan to drive the business.